If you like the channel, please share, promote, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Errol the Truth Spence versus Wilfred Benitez. Going out to my man, Brandon Lamb. Thank you for this request, for your participation in the channel, and for your encouraging words. Errol the Truth Spence versus Wilfred Benitez. What an interesting matchup. There's a few factors that makes this fight great. Errol the Truth Spence has the power, the reach, the jab, the pressure. Wilfred Benitez has the movement. A very great boxer, great footwork, very slick fighter. He was giving Sugar Ray Leonard all he could handle before that early stoppage, in my opinion. Yes, that was a very early stoppage, a quick stoppage. But that's just me. Most fans beg to differ, but that's the beauty of this. And we all have our opinions. So, who will prevail in this fight? I will say that Benitez came up in a more tough era than now. Back then, you had to fight. You had to fight. It wasn't big, quick paydays to get recognition, to get paid. You had to fight back then. It's a lot easier nowadays. I'm not saying that the fighters of today aren't equally as talented or aren't equally as able. They're not being pushed today, and they're not pushing themselves for various reasons that we could go on and on about, which I'll save for another video. But getting down to the fight, who takes this? Who prevails? I will say that my boy Spence has his hands full because of Benitez's movement, his countering abilities, and his footwork. So the question is, will Spence be able to locate Benitez? Will he be able to make the adjustments to find Benitez? So Errol is going to have to cut the ring off. He really is. I see Spence getting frustrated, and I see Benitez getting the best of him in the middle of the ring. But if Errol can corner Benitez, if he can trap him, and if he can get off some combinations, then he has a chance. But what about the jab? The jab is everything. An educated jab, especially an educated power jab, is everything. So, on the other hand, Spence could dictate the fight with the jab. He could dictate the distance and the pace with that jab. That jab it does everything from setting up your shots to range finding to throwing off the timing of your opponent. And the jab is a speed neutralizer. So if Spence can establish that jab early on, he can control this fight, possibly stopping Benitez down the stretch. But Spence is going to give up some early rounds. It's just the way that it is. He's going to give up some early rounds. Benitez is going to show him some movement, great movement. But I see Spence coming on midway through. I see Spence coming on. I see him establishing that jab. I see him finding the range, and I see him going to that body. That's another thing. And I don't know why fans don't talk more about Spence's body work. Those are some hellacious body shots, let me tell you. So Spence should be mentioned among the body punchers. And those body shots shuts down the legs. It shuts down movement or limits it. So I think Spence is going to work that body. And I just see Spence coming on. So I can't get around a late Spence stoppage in this contest. I hope this one doesn't get me in as much trouble as the Wilder-Liston fight that I covered. But if it does, It's just my opinion. I mean no harm. Errol the Truth Spence with a TKO victory over Wilfred Benitez. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'll catch you on the next one. Whatever happened to legacy? Now, a fighter is worth their pay. Make as much money as you possibly can for the risk that you take in the ring. I'm not against money. I'm not against fighters getting paid. I'm not against fighters making a lot of money. But what I am against is the disregard for legacy, period. I'll hear statements like, legacy doesn't pay you. I'm not getting paid off of legacy, which is true. But legacy does matter. It really does. Because without legacy, you're just a money cow. You're just totally in it for the money. You're not in it for the guts. You're not in it for the glory. You're not in it for the fans. And you don't care about the fans. So I can't say this enough. Money is important. Big purses are important. Getting paid is important. Getting your fair share and then some is important. But legacy means something. Without legacy, you won't be remembered 20 to 30 years from now. I can assure you. So get paid, but don't disregard legacy. Every fighter should be concerned about their legacy. Every boxer should be fighting for money and legacy. Because there's no other sport that I can think of to where legacy didn't play an important part in an athlete or a fighter's journey. You have athletes and you have fighters who've made lots of money, but they have a legacy. Mike Tyson has a legacy. Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, Big George Foreman, Jake LaMotta, Costa Tszyu, and I could go on and on. These fighters have legacy, as well as money. So legacy is a very important aspect of the sport. But my issue is, people will say arrogantly or with arrogance, legacy doesn't pay me. Forget legacy. Well, the diehard fans anyway care about legacy. The casuals probably don't care about legacy because they don't understand the sport the way we do. So reconsider this whole legacy versus getting paid thing. Get paid first and foremost. But if you build a legacy, the real fans of boxers would greatly appreciate it.